Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MiDion. MiDion is again the greatest painting on the planet as a duet. It is the older Mona Lisa, it is Leonardo da Vinci's diary in this painting. I'm going to show you his crisscross arm right across her right eye. And I'm going to have to break it down for you to understand this, so bear with me the best. Again, I am one who's working out of my garage. Been doing this for approximately 7 years, and I can use some help. I really could use some help. Throw in some comments. All I know is I have not altered anything to deceive anybody. So let me show you a couple things before we get to the final part, and we'll go on. Okay, so in this area right here, when it's blown up, it comes out to have this image here that's in an X-ray, and I call it the Statue of Liberty because it reminds me of the Statue of Liberty, the guy with the crown. Well, he's in the right eye of the Mona Lisa. Along with that you will see that when it's lined up, you'll see the MiDion, how it lines up in the Mona Lisa also, the female of the ride. So we're going to put this off this side, so that's just a sample. Want to show you that out of my MiDion, I pulled out the X-ray of the Mona Lisa. So that is the Mona, that is the Mona. This is out of my painting, this is the Mona Lisa itself. Now, I'm going to show you the skull, I call, which gives you the same look. If you see this guy with the nose, he hides and portrays it just like a cartoon artist of my man. And when you line him up in many different areas, you can see his top hat, he fits in the stars all over. I have well over 800 YouTubes, so whatever you would like to learn, just subscribe and you'll learn. Okay, so with that in mind, I have to show you the face. Okay, oh, one other thing. Yeah, one other thing before we go. Okay, if you take a look at this roundness here and here, those are two faces that's in the Mona. I know it looks kind of hard to see, but if you look, that's a face laying this way, and this is a face laying that way, looking towards us and looking up. That's the way he does. So if you take a look at these are long angled bodies, and when you take a look at that again is located right here under his arm, which comes out to be this particular, no, not that, this particular image right here of these two. These are lovers crisscrossed the same in the Mona Lisa. If I blow it up, you can see how he or she, he's laying down, he's being a clown, wearing a hemming hat, which is like a diva or a drag queen, and he's down here. And there's there's motion. He gives you these motions of where he is because he's making love. Okay, so he's definitely in the movie business, Leo. So with that, I want to put this back down and show you the X-ray of the Mona Lisa, that of these images here, okay, that I've got set up, that when you grab this and you lay my X-ray yeah, if you lay my X-ray, you can see, let me move this just a shade. You can see how my man fits in the middle and she fits in the other eye. So he's in the right eye. So here's going to be the proof coming that those two exist, the Statue of Liberty. Now, I should say at least one, because I have not done the left eye yet, but bear with me. When this has been altered, actually this has been altered to change the colors to get down into the poles, in that big old eye, which it comes out to be her pupil, which I'm going to have to show you, which is this. Just this area here, okay, right here, okay. When that is super blown up and you pull the colors out as much as you possibly can, this is the image you get. When you go for the crisscross of my man's arm that I told you where the Statue of Liberty is, okay, you end up, this is his crisscross arm. Okay, so now for you to see this, that is his arm that crisscrossed here, and here's the boat. These are boats. Here's part of the boat. So now you know where you're at. You're at the right eye, and you're at my man's arm, where the lovers are down in here. Okay, this is their crisscross loving. If you take a look at this, just connect the dots and you see the nose and the chin. Only in this area is a face, and he's looking this way. You can, if you just follow it through, it's more highlighted, as you can see. You'll get other images out of it, but you know that there's an eye and an eye, and he places them. Well, if you take this and you eliminate some of the diamonds, you have the same face with the nose that runs down with the point and comes on over. And when you take and overlay the two over the top, they're twins. You see? They're twins. I pull it back down, you see how he is. Now I put it side by side. You see him right here. You see the same curve, the same curve, the same curve, comes on down on an angle and cuts on over, cuts on over. When you overlay the two, twins. Okay, I'm going to be working really hard to find, okay, I hadn't even reduced these yet. I'm going to be working real hard to find my woman's face in the left eye. Okay, now I have given my full, you can see, look at this, you can see the circumference of the circle of his hidden way. That means when you overlay this Mona's face over the top, okay, he covers the whole painting also. He paints the Mona just like you saw in my X-ray. Okay, he only in a small portion. Okay, but what he does is he multiplies it. He multiplies many times, and she comes bigger and bigger and bigger, and next thing you know, the main painting is the main face. Okay, and I know it looks kind of odd and so, but that is a Leonardo da Vinci's way. Okay, and you can take and turn this any way you want. Now I know I'm getting heavier on you on what it is, but I didn't even reduce this down, but this is the eye, and then when you reduce it, you can see the eye and you can see the Mona. Now I wonder, without getting in, if the face would even show up. Well, you can see this for sure. You can see the angle cut of my woman. You can see the angle cut, how it is. How I'm going to pull it, I may have to start off from scratch, because what he does is layers and chemicals. So what shows up on one side won't show up on the other, or what shows on one side only shows a portion, and you have to add all the layers together, which would be 30 different little things for it to come out clean enough to be a portrait. My image that's in my x-ray, that is in the crystal ball, along with the crystal ball, and also written out Sali that's across his chest. So let's get right to it, and I'll be more than happy to prove that you are dealing with a Leonardo da Vinci. Oh, and by the way, this is the x-ray also then which I took out of my painting, which is located approximately here, that in this being an x-ray that's been turned 90 degrees to the right. Now if you take a look at the Salvatore, okay, you'll see the circle here. But right now, before I even start anything, you can see this image that floats in here, more white with an eye and a slinky nose. If you kind of look in somewhat, a big S, but there's also a little s. You can barely see this, but here we go for you to see it at a better image. And let's see, wait one moment. Let's bring this image up, and let me show you here the circle. Okay, then you'll see this image which was in the circle that I told you was here, and then there will be another image that's written across in here, and it's hidden, that's going to show you the Sali written. But let me take this and show you how it opens up to give you a better shot of seeing it. Right here, watch. You see? See the stars? There's the face. That's the face. That's the face of the animal. Watch. Now I slide this like this. And see if I can get this to be over. And I bring this up. And I'm going to slide this over. Slide this over. Okay, you see this image? That is this image in stars. Okay, you see this circle? That's this circle here with the fingers down in here. Okay, but wait. Now, this is what it looks like. That's when it's changed. And let me cancel out on that. I want to show you. Let me show you what happens when you grab the other image. That's like this, which is this one, and you see the written Sali. As you can see, it says S-A-L-A-I. Now this is in a general area that he does it quite often. Now let me show you where that is. That big S. We're going to go back to, oops, we're going to go back to what we just did. These are facts. These have not been altered or changed to manipulate anything. Now, this is a big S when it comes on down, and it misses this little part of the tail, but you can see it in the darkness. So, bear with me, please. Don't forget to subscribe. I need you guys' help. Okay, now pay attention. You can see these stars. Now watch. Watch these stars kick out, kick out. Okay, they're kicking to make. You can see the S growing slightly. Okay, now if you see this little s, see here's the bigger S, now here's the little s growing. Okay, so with that in mind, hang on, you can see that little s growing next to the big S. Here, big S, little s. Then you can see something about to occur here. Now, I turn up the deal, and then there should be a straight line coming for an A. I mean a L, and then you're going to find another A. So you got the L, then you got an A, and there should be an I right back in here. See, look at that A. That's a strong A. Okay. There's you see this right here? He shares it. He shares it right in here. He blanks it up in here. Now, what's really weird, look at this. You see this guy with the nose and the face? It looks like if you follow the eye up, he would be in this area. How I find him, I don't know. It's very difficult when I got a poor image. But it gets really, really cool. So when I cancel out on that, and I cancel out on that, and I take this image, and I slide it like this, and I overlay this image over the top, okay? You can see, you see the circle area? Watch. Maybe it doesn't want to because it's too long. Hang on. I had a lot of pictures. Took me a while just to load them up. Okay. Here's the big S. Okay, here's the big S. Here's the big circle. See, but the circles he does, he's got one ring, another ring, another ring, another ring, and he continues because he makes it go up and down. So with the big S, it is not just this S here. He does it in black. So these S's and these S's, there's another S in the black. There's another S in here. And it continues. Leonardo da Vinci, a genius, absolute genius in his ways. So I don't know how to prove to you any more than to show you, like I have, between showing you images that are the twin inside, to the X-ray that's inside, to the younger Mona Lisa. He even puts him in the image sideways into the ball. Watch. Let me just do this. He's even done this to where you can take this image and pump it right up in there, and she will fit right in his works anywhere you want it, because he planned it that way that the numbers fit in every order. How? I'm not a numbers genius like he is. But he is. Look at this. He's even got over on the side over here. Let me slide it over. He's got these characters. Look at this. He's got this other snake here with a big mouth. See, he slides his snake to go back and forth, back and forth. He's magnificent. And with that, I want to say, wash your hands, social distance, wear a mask. May God bless the whole world, universe, and heavens. I want you to subscribe. There is about another 30 more of these that I had, different turns that I wanted to show you. Excuse me. Codes. And I broke a lot of his codes. And if you follow my YouTubes, you'll know that. You'll know a lot. I mean, you're not going to find this in no art book except for my YouTubes, in which I've been more than gladly shared to the world of my findings. I consider it one of the greatest paintings on the planet. So that with that in mind, let me continue to show you things. Like her hand has the finger that kind of veers on down. That's a code of one of his little icons of a skull, along with the whole thing is the same as the skull. You can even see his outlay. You can actually see that's his lover. He spells love throughout. I have an X-ray at the end of the show, so pay attention. Don't forget to subscribe. Of the Mona Lisa in my painting, and it's going to be approximately right here, turned sideways. But that's only one of them. He has thousands of them. The guy was a compulsive copy machine, and it shows a angel that's microscopic, you couldn't see with the human eye, and here's the altering in the sense for you to have it highlighted. And then he has unseen of 80 multi-different colors as his Rubik's Cube that he ends up with, that he turns with from a man's face and a man's face, and they're hugging each other, that is above my woman's head, which would be right about here. And then he gets into this cowboy, which I found with a dog wearing a cowboy hat. I guess tradition doesn't matter what age. Over my man's head in this area is, so happens I call him Gumby with a lightning rod. And this is a man that skis on it. Within this piece you cannot see with the human eye again. So it happens to be this man that on that lightning rod he has his diary written in there. And then when we get over into this page, it so happens to have little things of his drawings that is the same that he has altered into a flower, that you have to go depth into it to see this image. You got this particular image that's in the wood that so happens to turn out to of one of his artworks that fighting Algeria. And then in this particular piece that so happens to be it spells out La Bella Principessa, and here's La Bella to let you know. This is an image in which he has of this particular one in one of his books that he has altered and put into it. And this is also one of his symbols of his codes that I call the red bird. And it is a signature because it is one of his pieces of works. So out of that particular deal, let me flip this to this page for you to see. And out of this page, in her eye, which is smaller than the top of the head of a Lincoln toupee, is probably 3 million images, and it comes out to be blown up into a dog and stars and such. And again, here is the Rubik's Cube, and this is a lightning rod, but the lightning rod actually stands for harmony, which is where you normally hang over the door and you have a piece. This particular area is the bottom of her dress, and it has lace and codes and codes and codes and codes written all the way around. And these are like in my books. And this is another code, and I call him the Birdman, but it's in a different symbol in the white. That is not microscopic, but it's very small and it's very unique. Now, this so happens to be on the wood base of the Mona Lisa. That is a canvas that he knitted. That when you blow it up on the Mona Lisa through photo imaging, you'll see that the knitting is the same as the knitting that I showed. Will show you that he has done on builds. Now, this particular area is a face that's real faint and minute within faces that he did almost in the sense of clouds. And it's so hard to see, but if you study for 10-12 hours, you can get the word Sali and a man's head and a horse's head and so on. And then this so happens to be the image of a more of a kind of like a jolly green giant, but he's a jolly blue giant. And this is one of his images that is considered to be part of the blue man that in which I represented. Now I'm going to pull this over in this way, and this so happens to be in the left top. It is actually a man and a woman of MiDion and Leonardo da Vinci and Sali, and Sali and Leo are getting married, and he has the top hat, and he's sitting here representing a man and a woman, and it goes on. This is the tools in which he had that he does knitting that he left of one of them. There's at least a half a dozen plus. And again, they're in my YouTube in greater detail. This so happens to have the image of this bigger image, which is of a bird, and out of that is a head right here of Sali wearing a crown like Jesus Christ, and in the background on top, which he builds like a totem pole, Leonardo da Vinci. And then this is Santa Claus, which is actually which is Leo, and out of him being such a good jolly green giant, way over into the distance he has Sali like saying goodbye with his dog, missing him out in the old world to the heavens. And then you have this particular area, which is on the back of the painting, which are microscopic graved into the wood that he did these characters of at least a half a dozen individuals or better, that he's compulsive, because on the back of my images are not only just a plain canvas, he used every square front or back of it. And then obviously this is the main painting turned sideways to get as big as painting as you could in there. And then on top of that particular deal, on this page he actually made the roar of a lion that coming on down. This so happens I call Statue of Liberty, and it's a Statue of Liberty man with a hemmed hat, which represents gay. And this particular item, I call it the green heavens, because you can see individuals in here and they seem to be floating in the air. So these are people, and he's flying and he's enjoying himself. Now this particular one here is, I do believe it's airplanes and into heaven and flying with characters of floating angels and things of his dreams. This particular item is a signature that actually spells out Leonardo da Vinci Sir Pierre, Leonardo. And these stars that are running in here, is not only is he doing his art, he's also playing music. On top of all that, you also have this man here, right here, with sheets like of wings, which would make him a super high-end individual that so happens to be a very good tailor, or a person that is of high quality clothing designer. You can pick him out of the crowd in a heartbeat. Now this particular side over here so happens to be a code in the sense that is written S-A-L-A-I, that is his lover. And Sali lived with Leonardo da Vinci since up to 1518, and also was his model in mass of his paintings. I'm sorry about that. And there's much more. He has arrows that float throughout here and points to the areas, and it goes on. This is not just one layer. He's got hundreds and hundreds of layers that multiply and changes. This particular one so happens to be to where it shows that Salvator Mundi's fingers, and where my man fits really good within Salvator Mundi. And I've gotten a lot better on some other of the images from the future that just recently came out. And these are talking about a year plus ago at least. And this is the flaming Mona Lisa that is located in about this X area, and not all the whites turn out flaming. It's what chemicals he did put in the painting to allow them to do that. So it's very trippy. When you get into this particular image, it's quite unique, because if you see how he looks like he has sunglasses, his signature down here has a double O in the middle, so he puts his double O and he signs it in hidden transfer paints, and he signs his name, which would be extremely difficult to see, but you can see some of the sloops, and so you can represent the double O's that are coming out and making these images. And you can see the bent finger that so happens to be in the Mona Lisa that so happens to be of mine. These are other particular images, again, that so happens to have significance of his art that he uses that looks like nothing, but they really are really something. And one image of Leonardo da Vinci is never ever one. It's thousands of reasons. If you actually take a look at this particular image over here, it's got the big number 5, as you can see, but he has a backwards 5 here, but hidden underneath this 5 is in reverse. As you can see, this particular area that comes and goes, there's an area hidden here and cuts over. So this overlay of this 5, you can see the 5 floating and cutting in here. So there's a 5 over a backwards S, and this is a 5 which you can barely see the backwards S. He's very extremely difficult to try to break. Now, I'm only the messenger now, so out of being the messenger, don't forget, it's very difficult for me to be able to tell you the exact way he did these images. All I know is I've done my very best to try to show you what the honest photos have come out to be. Now, in this particular has a location. It gives you of this location is located over here, and this is the MiDion, same as the Mona Lisa. So what floats here is the same here. It's giving you the endo. I don't know what goes here. I guess it's having a hard time booting, but it must have been a large image or something happened there. This so happens to be exactly the same again in this particular. Oh, it was the Mona having a heart. It must have been a real high image. Okay, and then in the eyes, it tells you there's a horse in there, and then there's a pony hat man, and so on. And these images actually lay within each other, and no matter which way you put them. Now I'm going to go back over onto this side again, and as you can see the big eye of my woman, and it gets into a man's face, and it tells you what's hiding in these areas, and it actually tells you that the right eye goes down into here and it has this G, and here's the G, and it's the same G that so happens to be in the Mona Lisa, and you can even see the G here. Okay, well, with that particular thing, I get into stuff that says gold art. This is all gold art and individuals in here between ducks and humans and cartoons, and he gets into these flows of these dancing ladies that float around in the hat above his head. You'll see the back of the Mona in which how he does some of his works. You'll see some of the neon works in which blow through the canvases of the MiDion, that colors in which you can't believe that even exist from back then. Excuse me. You can see how these little lines come and they get broken down that are hidden within my woman's sleeve. It spells out Melzi, and it spells out love, and on this lace it actually spells out Leonardo da Vinci Sir Pierre. He also had a man that was Sali. There were 3 lovers. They were all really gay and bi, and so he has this signature that so happens to be in the Mona Lisa off to the right of her neck, top mid, and you can see that there's the writing in the Mona Lisa that matches the same within mine, and that can't be undisputed. It's just images in which are magnificent. I mean, they're facts. This so happens to be, again, spelt out Sali in larger, S-A-L-A-I. This image so happens to be out of the Mona Lisa as an X-ray. It matches this particular image that is of mine. It's the twin. This is the big face of this face, and he keeps putting these faces on top of the faces. And there's the writing that says Sali down in here, as you can see again. And then if you see this on a 4K screen, you'll be a lot better off. But I'm gonna be running out of time, so I don't know if I'm gonna have to do a part 2. But anyway, it says right here, flying. This is all in dots, and he's up in there, and he's flying with these neon person, a person here with his hands, and he's flying a machine. He's got a black horse here with a rider, and these are really micro images. These are the X-rays to show you what I have to go through. These images represent the same of his works. This icon that sits on the top of his horse actually stands for change, like the gay revolution change. And then he has other images other people have tried to change and alter. This particular was Raphael, and it represents some of his works in which he tried to do very well. It is not of Leo's works, but it is so happens to be of a stylist for the years in which they did their works. And so let me click to this particular image over here, and out of that particular image you'll see that this is the big face of Sali that's in the X-ray of the Mona. This is the bigger image of their marriage, which I showed you earlier. And with this particular one is the big angel that you see on the right, and this so happens to be them partying, a woman and a man. This is his flying machine on some bats, and no matter which way you flip it in any degree of 360 degrees, he's flying and having a blast. His cartoons, and it goes endless. And this is the flying ladies that I was telling you about. It has the hats, and they're floating. These are ladies' heads flying through the sky. These are microscopic, smaller than the eye can see. These are images of individuals, and these are people. And each of these little stars are portraits that I can't even get into. If you take a look at this particular, this is the 100 megapixel phase 1 camera. This is a $15,000 microscope in the beginning, and this is a cartoon in which I found within it that reminds me of Pluto. And then this particular one over here so happens to be, I call him the Birdman. He's got a bird here on his arm, and here he is with the pointy hat as a human. He's got codes in here. He's got the skull in here, the skull in here. He's got the bent finger, which matches the skull again. Here, when you turn it and you go over to the Mona Lisa so happens to have birds that are floating and making love. When you get into the transfer, you have my man's arms that float throughout in here that is serenading my woman that's over in here. This is another cartoon with a person up in the head and a funny nose, just like we would see on TV if you watch Snoopy. These are words and codes and people. These are people with the eyes, and it actually spells out stuff, and no matter which way you turn it, you end up with that particular image. Now you got this again. This so happens to be my painting that's on the right, and obviously this is a different type of layer in which was found that helped me do some findings. And this particular area over here so happens to be more words in which needs deciphering of his great works, and more of mine. And here's one of his codes, EL, which is actually stands ML, and also Sali. And it continues with things upside down. When you end up with this has got a V shot. They're making love, and it's in my YouTubes again. I have over 4,000 images, in which so happens to be exact images that are microscopic. This so happens to be again Sali, which is Sali, and he's looking over to Santa Claus, which is Leo. That's out in the world. of the universe. And there's also up in here, there's actually elves that are pulling a sled. It must have been around Christmas time or something, in the sense of him thinking of what his relationship was with him. This is, so happens to be the breakdown of some of the images in which I already told you about, and again in one of his other codes with a eagle in here, and it's extremely cool. And then we get back into this particular image over here. This particular image has one of his hands in which they found in the x-ray. This is words in which so happens to be in my man's mouth, and this so happens to be one of the x-rays in which what we're talking about that is in here when you get into the detail. And it continues and has all the... Welcome to my YouTube. I'm Alan Cook, the proud owner of the MIDION. The MiDion is the newest painting done by Leonardo da Vinci that has been found. He is so awesome on his works. It takes the breath out of me. What you see right here so happens to be the Mona Lisa in an x-ray. Everybody knows what the Mona Lisa looks like, but this is also the Mona Lisa. It is not only just the Mona Lisa. You have to understand where I'm coming from about who she really is. It's a stylist of Leonardo da Vinci. My belief it is Leonardo da Vinci. I believe it is Sali. I believe it is Melzi Francesca. I believe also it is Katharina, his mother. Sali was living with him till 1518, and Sali lived and inherited all of his works, except for the Mona, is what I hear, because Sali was the main model. But interpretation, not only on top of that, it also comes out to be Madonna and Mary and whoever loves that he wished to integrate. And with that, you can tell that this is the younger Mona Lisa, and that this one is the older Mona Lisa. And with this, for you to understand what I'm going to be showing you, is that in this particular area here, in this particular area is going to be this image I'm going to be popping up that they found in the Mona Lisa. Now I'm going to show you exactly where it is, and this will indicate exactly where it is. We're going to be going in a kind of a slow way. If you open up the Mona and you go here, you will see this image plain and clear. That's it. You can see the outline, and it comes down with the hand. It looks kind of like a hand. It's not just a hand. And then when you take that particular image and you open it up, you'll see that this image here is the image in what we're talking about. Now, out of that image, you'll see that the signature of mine actually spells out Leonardo da Vinci, Sir Pierre. That's the Leonardo. You could see it, and he's got these cartoons. I have almost, or maybe even over, 900 YouTubes of explanation on this. Now, when you take this image and you overlay it, yeah, see, there's so many photos that it's not allowing me to do it, because I really have a bunch of them for you. There we go. I got rid of one. You can see the dark line running through that helps represent the beginning of his word. But that's not only just one of his tricks. And when you open this other particular image up, you'll see the word Sali, S-A-L-A-I. And when you take the signature and you overlay it across the L, you can see how he would spell his name using the L's in different areas of Sali. He runs them. He tricks, and it gives you portions of them. And the way you know that this is true is because when you take the image of the Mona Lisa and you reduce it down and you use her face for the signature, you can see that when you bring it into perspective, you can see the outline, how it fits perfectly in the Mona Lisa. It also gets better. If you turn this signature 90, you can use it, or actually 180, you can use it to cover the top and the side. So he continuously writes his name building the Mona. You can see the circular area in which he moves her. Because if you follow again my YouTube, subscribe, and learn, you'll find out that he makes his artwork move across the room. Now, I only gave you a portion. I mean, like 1 grain of sand out of the whole beach. Okay, so this is nothing what we're talking about. We're just going to toss that all away. Okay, I didn't fake and write his name in here, Sali, the man he lived with. Look it up. Okay, now if you want to, you can see that when you grab a hold of my man here, my man, and my woman, you can see that she's going to line up perfectly eye to eye with this image. See? Right in there with the eyes. Perfect, the perfect face. He flows on over, you can see, and he flows up into the corner. Now, what gets even better is this. See, she moves across the room, and you can tell because her face is here, her face is here. So at certain portions, I'm going to show you something, you're going to see this. It's a G. And then when you change it for you to see that that's a G, see how the G comes up more? Now I could even change it even more with the image of threshold. And you hit threshold, and there's the G again. There's many different polls on Leo's work to see. Now, when you get into it, you can see that there's a G here. Okay, and when you get even better, if I reduce this, you'll see that there's a 7. Watch. You see this 5, and next to it there's this 7, and in between is this little G. I don't know if you can see it, but that's a little G, which is this G. And then when you set these G's in there, which I haven't done it like this, but I know it works, but you got to be micro right on. I don't know if this is going to make me or break me, make me or break me with you, but I'm going to roll the dice. That's where the G goes. And these images aren't going to just pop to give you the same face. But if you reduce this down, and you reduce this one down, and you go back to this to overlay it, on a smaller version, because it changes dramatically in size. And that's approximately where it goes. Now, you can see his face. See how his face is here? And when you put it up, you can see how he turns the face. He's got eyes and a nose. He turns it. But you can tell, like with his nose, how it kicks here and goes. Then it kicks here and goes, and here and goes. Leonardo da Vinci won't stop. He's a compulsive copy machine. So when you take this again and reduce it even further, and you take this and you reduce it further, and you lay the two back up into each other, you can tell over here how the eyes line up in these dots right there. And then when you shift it even more and move it up, there they are again. And then when you shift it even more and move it up, they go again. Sorry, it's hard to do this on a slide. Here they are again. And it keeps going and going and going. For a while, I couldn't figure out why. And there is a good reason. You want to know why? The reason why her eyes and her face moves forward is because he is forward. She comes to him, he goes to her. Okay? In my other images, he's got a ring. He's proposing to her. Images, he's got a ring. He's proposing to her. So, keep that in mind. Let me show you something. Okay, this, again, is in the Mona Lisa. Those are facts. I just showed you facts. Nothing been changed. But this is what's going to be cool. This image here with this elephant tuba guy is actually in a lot of places, don't get it wrong, it's actually, right here. Okay, we put this, that is the image in here. And the way to prove that is watch. You see this outline of the shadow in here, and then this is the whiter of the unit. You can match those, this gray with this. This matches in here, and this whiter matches in here. Let me set it up. Oh, I've got to do it in reverse for you to see it better. Sorry. I got to shift it up. There it is. That's where it is, because if you take a look at the spears, see the spear? There it is. There's the same spear. See that spear? That's this spear. So when you lay these up, there's the 100%. Now what I'm showing you, the reason why they're not both bursting like a picture such as this, the best way I can explain it is that if he gives you a micro image area of his works of the hair here, he moves on over and he gives you a transparency of it in a different layer, so you can't pull them out, but you follow it and you know that it is, and because it fits like the puzzle piece that I just showed you. This is the portion of what we were just playing with in the blue. I'm switching up on you, and then when you take this one and you overlay it again, you can see how the eyes match perfectly within the face. I scoot it up. Right there. And then when you shift it back into here and lower it, it fits too. Because, again, he makes it move. But in certain areas, like right here even, right there is another. Okay, so you can see this outline of the face the same, and that's the way he is. If you see this bigger outline here, that's what this is. Watch. Let's see if it goes. I've never done that one yet. It's got to go up. Right there. That covers the outline face. But don't forget, the face moves. Okay? The face moves across the room for Leo's work. Okay? You can tell. And that's the way he is. It's got the same curvature, cheek design, everything. And that's another trick of his. He sticks. Okay. Thank you for joining me again. This one's going to be odd, and it's going to take a little bit. But you're going to see doggies, 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 and you're going to see tricks, 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 just like doggy tricks. But it's not on me, it's on Leo. And let me kind of show you that he puts the dogs in the Mona. And in the Mona, he also puts the dogs in the MiDion. And in the MiDion, he puts the Mona in the MiDion, and in the MiDion he puts in the Mona. And let me kind of explain this, hopefully slowly. Let's see here. Now, this particular painting is a Leonardo da Vinci painting, and out of this painting, if you take a look at the man, his mustache and his hat, you'll see that he has the same. He's the same as in the Last Supper. Okay, so that cannot be disputed. Those are twins. And the woman that's in my painting is Mary, Madonna, the older woman. And in my painting, in over 1,000 YouTubes, it has a ring in his hand under different layers of many different chemicals. And what layers and transfers and codes are is extremely difficult to be pulled out on a Leonardo da Vinci's works. So we're going to continue here. Now, this is kind of odd. You got to have to pay attention, please. If you look at this little log down in here, and I'm going to blow it up, it is the resemblance of the tongue of the mouth tongue area of the dog. Okay, now when you end up with an image and you think you're right on and notice it's just a hair off, it's because he makes his paintings move, and they all go. What's really cool is watch this. Let me show you. Let me show you some little tricks. You see this eye and this nose and this face here? That's the same as this, and that is the same as this. The same guy is right here. So when you take this and reduce this down to be able to overfit mine over the layer, you'll see he fits right in there, right there, 100%. And then if you pull this down, you can see where she lies on his cheek, which is, he is a dog and dog is a he because he loved dogs, and not only that, he was he used his own innuendos, let's put it that way. Okay, so in my other YouTubes, now let me show you. It's going to get tricky, and so you please, I hope I'm doing it right. You see this black that runs around here and goes up and in? Okay, that's a big G, but within it you can see the shadows of faces of individuals that are floating in here. There are clouds of individuals. When you take mine and you blow it up, see the G in his eye. So he gives you Giovanni. He lets you know who the dog is and who he is. Okay, so that's another trick. It gets wilder. In here, microscopic or extremely close. I can't remember everything. I'm not a Leo. But let me put this off to the side a second and show you that this dog is also in this. Now, when you take a look at this, this is funny. If you take this guy, this is an Oriental guy built in a body. This so happens to be a lamb right here, and this is Mary, and that's Joseph. Okay, and I do believe this is a private part of the man's body. And if you notice how it has an L, so he spells out Leonardo in code. Not only on top of that, if you take a look, when you overlay this dog over the top, about approximately here, here, and here, you can see how the nose lights up, and you can also put the nose over the head, because again, he makes it small, he makes it bigger, and he makes it bigger. Now you got to have an open mind like clouds and imagination as Leo, but it gets wilder. Watch. This is how the proof that his works of his sketching is the same as in my painting. Let me show you. This is an X-ray of the Mona Lisa, and it is of Sali. Okay, and in my painting, I'm gonna let me just show you an endo. Again, you see this F here? That's one of the F's. Earlier I showed you where the F would be, but watch where this F is. Right here. F/4. This is the F. He has a line that runs through here, and you can see the 4. And so out of that is one of his hidden. But let's show that since that don't look right to you. Now where's the dog? Come on, raise your hand. Who knows? The dog's right here. Eye, nose. Here's the dog. And then he makes it bigger, and he makes it bigger and bigger. Look it. The dog is the same. Look it. That's the same dog. Same dog, same dog. Isn't that cool? Now watch. It even gets even better. But you really got to have an open mind. If you really look at the outline of the G, he leaves as an inner body of a figment that where at a certain distance and size between pulling some of the colors out for it to be highlighted or putting the colors deeper in it, this is actually a face of a human, and that he's letting you know what's within in it. Kind of like that Michael Jackson going through 20 different nationalities of the way he pulls it. Also within this, you can also see this particular symbol, this particular symbol, which is Sali, with the big S. But there's also a bigger S. And with that, you'll see this to be a small s and a big S in here. And that is right here. Here's the big S. It starts right here and starts to go away, but it floats down in here. Not only does it do that, it's got the bigger S throughout the whole thing and stops because it gets cut off on the sheet. Okay, but there's a smaller S that's within it. And where that is right here, the smaller S, right in here. These things are so hard to find and tell you. It also gets wilder. If you take a look at this like, I call him close to a buffalo with a guy riding it with a tuba horn. My belief, it's in here also that is hidden in his words. You can see the outline. And then when you follow this, you can also see this guy, which this guy is a Hemin with a hat and a person with a smiley face and an eye, and it runs with the Statue of Liberty. You can see him right there. Now I'm going to blow him up and see if he pixelizes. But you can see his face. Whoops, before he pixels. You can see the angle cut of that. So you have it here, but he also moves here. Because remember, Leo copies his work. So out of that, that means if this statue's here, that means, Hemin is here, that means the Statue of Liberty is approximately somewhere in here. And that means he would keep floating, which may be these where they try to distort them so you don't see what's in them. That's what they do. They try to hide you their painting of the works that's within the real ones, because Leo does have other paintings out there, and he copied his work. This is a nativity. These are lines of the canvas. This is 1, 1, 1, 1. So you got 4 that combines into the center of weave. There's also 2 partials down here, but he did a nativity of. And when you actually look at this guy, you can see his body and comes down, and you can see Mary and Joseph. And there's the disciple. Here's one of them with a hat, and there's a couple more in here, but you have to open it up in different colors. It gets really, really cool. Also, don't forget, I showed you that my woman is the same as in the is the same in the MIDION. So with that in mind, let me see if this is, no, this is not it. It's hidden in here. Maybe it's this one. It is. Okay. When you reduce it down, you can see how she's older and when she's younger. And don't forget, she also was younger, even more so, when she was the Mona. Okay, so the Mona is a much younger woman. Here she is. Then she got older and older. Now it was all in stylus, and you can see that all three of them would easily be as sisters, if not the same woman, done by the same man. It gets a little good, better. It gets, well, actually, this is the signature spelt out Leonardo, okay, Da Vinci Sir Pierre. And if you take this and flip it upside down to where this is this way and runs this way, he builds the face out of the signature. That's in one of my 1,000 YouTubes. If you take this particular one and you match it up to the woman, it is the same resemblance of this woman, which is the same resemblance of this woman, which is of the younger woman. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, the 4 musketeer women are the same. And don't forget, he loves animals. And he, as far as I know, that he would love to be called, said that he would not use his body as a tomb to carry dead carcasses, so animals never knew him to be an animal eater, and so animals flocked to him. So with that, I want you to know, I need you to subscribe. I hope you give me a thumbs up. I want you to understand, we got the dog, okay? We got the dog tricks of Leo. Those two are the same, and it gets bigger and bigger. And this is only what I pulled. Now, don't forget, there are hundreds of pages of layers of these, and then there's thousands of ways to pull these colors. If you take a look here, here's an eye and a nose. Here, you can even see the ears. These are dogs. Okay, this is from him. This is from him. This is out of the Mona. But out of that particular item, this so happens to be the same, because when you put these over and you fit these, and when you fit these, here, I'll show you one more thing before we go. It's to prove that dog, it belongs in my works. I fit it in one of my other YouTubes, if you remember. This one. This particular one, if you follow this line, you see this line that runs on down through here? Watch. You see that design? Watch this. You see this design right here? It's the same as that design. So when you take this and overlay it, which I have to adjust it. Now I have to do some more. You see? When you overlay those two lines, the neckline, they're the twin. They match. Who would ever know the exact same cut and line that Leo put in there? Okay? And this is only one section of it. If you take a look, you see this lamb? Well, you can see how they cut something out of here. So when you put this again and line it up as the twin, you know where some of these pieces are lying. You see this dot and this dot? Watch. You put this up, watch. Boom, boom, black nose, eyes, nose. This is a dog, this is a dog. Look at dog, dog, nose. I didn't plan that. I just know Leo. And with that, that's his tricks. So follow my YouTubes, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, tell a friend, be a friend, social distance, wash your hands, wear a mask. I hope you love me, because I love you guys. We're all on this earth to live together. And with that, I gotta say, please, God bless the whole world, the universe, and the heavens. Please, subscribe. I'm begging you guys, help a brother. Love you all, moms and dads, and kids and children. In Jesus' name, amen. That those images are my man's finger, and it is also my woman's finger. And what I mean, I don't, when you find your Mona, and if you follow my YouTubes, you'll find out Mona is a love of what fills you completely. Jerry Maguire, I guess, that movie. You fill me completely. It was a pretty good saying. It took off. I think I was trying to give you some kind of thing there to where you understand. But you see the pinky? I don't even have to draw anything around it, do I? I'm going to show you how that exists. And then I'm going to show you how her arm actually shows up in it. And it's not made up. This is off the same image. So it's gonna be a little. So first of all, let's do the easy one, because I'm kind of a little bit trying to concentrate on something, and normally sometimes I get emotional, and sometimes I get excited, and those sometimes seems to be all the time. Whoops. So I'm going to have to go to revert and probably flip it apology. So I'm going to flip that back to, I do believe, 90. And oh wow, came right out. Okay, we got lucky, or I got lucky, or you would have said you're fired. And it's kind of a neat saying, you're fired. You know what my dad used to say is that you can't fire somebody who works for free. And God rest his soul. God rest his soul. You see this finger? He has a ring on it. And no amount of money to buy his dream. So, for you to see that finger, I wonder if I could show you his heart. That's a good point. That's a good thought. Don't think so. Don't think it matters. Look at that. You can see how he runs. He runs. That's his arm. But where's his finger come? His finger comes again. Wow. Let's see. Wow. Wow. I'm impressed. This is something. Let's see. Woo, baby. Okay. Look at that. He's got his finger. Look at that. There's one. He moves his finger. He moves his finger, guys. Watch. Wait a second. Okay, you see how it's off? Wow. But you see the second one? So he moves his finger back and forth. He's twirling. So he's got his other finger right here. Watch. It shows up. Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's right here. It goes like this. And you can see it. See, I'm off. I'm sorry. It actually goes down a little bit more, but apparently he moves his fingers. And because Leonardo da Vinci makes this, look at that. Wow! So he moves his fingers all over. Well, I don't know why I'm shocked, because Leonardo da Vinci makes all his works move. Okay. Sorry, I shouldn't be shocked. I really shouldn't. Okay, so we're going to put this here, and I'm going to show you how my man and woman, lines up in the Mona with her hand off the side. You're not going to see her shoe here, but you're going to see where her hand lies. Okay. You see her arm, how it flows through here, and then her hand flows here. So her hand's right here. Ah! I screwed up. Let's see if I put it back in the right spot. Yeah, see, that's me. It's when you got something on your mind. The phone did ring. And I'm the kind of person that likes to grab that phone. But, I apologize, I wasn't able to grab a phone. I'm in the YouTube. But as you can see, the hand flows in here, and the arm flows through here. And this is where the hand goes, in this area, because he makes it move. So let's do it again. We put it up, and bam, that's where it hides. He is magnificent. You can see her hand. You can see her cut thumbs that float back and forth. I wonder where else it flows. I'm looking. Yeah, you got the same curvatures that flow. Leonardo da Vinci is awesome. I wonder if his shoes show up. Well, I know her shoes do because we showed it to you. Listen, there's a lot more to this than what I just said. But anyway, that is another piece in which I want to tell you. And I love you guys. Love is in many, many degrees. And don't worry if you do or you don't find your Mona. You'll meet him in heaven one day, and that's what counts because there's a God. Okay? And God bless you all. Okay? We love you. In Jesus' name. And if you're looking for better equipment, you gotta hit that subscribe button and do more thumbs up, and so I can get more funds, so I can get better equipment. Don't forget, listen, wash your hands, social distance, wear a mask, and listen, I love you guys. I don't care if you're a male or female or brother, sister, father, child, or anything. Love comes in different degrees. Remember that. And here comes this for the kids again. And may God bless the whole world, the whole universe, and the whole heavens. And thank you, my friends. Okay. In Jesus' name, amen.
you and I love you. Have a great day.